Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
If you're concerned enough about what you're doing, you don't mind any of these little so-called hardships, and I'm very concerned about peace.
Peace Pilgrim, Walking Towards a Peaceful World, Part 2 of 3. Continue watching to find out more.
Hello, loving viewers. I'm Guangcheng from friendly China. The warm-hearted Chinese people wish you everlasting happiness. Welcome to Part 2 of our 3-part series, Peace Pilgrim, Walking Towards a Peaceful World. In 1953, Peace Pilgrim began her pilgrimage, leaving behind her previous life as Mildred Lissett Norman to walk 25,000 miles in the name of nonviolence. For years leading up to her journey, Peace had spiritually prepared herself unknowingly as an ambassador of loving kindness.
I had a 15-year preparation period. Yes, it wasn't in walking or speaking, it was inner preparation. My preparation for the pilgrimage began in earnest about 40 years ago when I came out of my meaningless life of money and things and started to live to give instead of to get. At that point, my life blossomed out. I attained the great blessing of good health. It's wonderful. I haven't had an ache or a pain or a cold or a headache for 40 years. And from that time on, I have known that my life work was going to be work for peace.
Now, she journeyed on foot across the country, initially determined to get as many signatures as possible for 3 different petitions. One, to stop the conflict facing the country at the time. A second, to create a peace department in the United States government. And a third, for the United Nations to encourage world leaders to lay down their arms and help their citizens. She would then present the petitions to officials at the Capitol, Washington, D.C. There have been many proposals over the years to create a Department of Peace within the U.S. government. The purpose being to grow and evolve as a planet and to embrace a peaceful relationship with all nations and sentient beings. Among its many duties, this branch would provide violence prevention, conflict resolution skills, and mediation to school children in classrooms, providing them with the communication tools they need to express themselves. It would also provide support and grants for violence prevention programs. More duties would include rehabilitating the prison population and establishing a World Peace Academy in an effort to train international peacekeepers. This group would also develop an educational program to promote nonviolence in the media. Besides establishing a National Day of Peace, it would also monitor human and animal rights. Before Peace Pilgrim left California, she had already held radio and television interviews and had given talks in schools. It didn't take long for her to collect thousands of signatures. Peace knew that everyone had the same spark of the divine and treated everyone the same. She simply acknowledged the good in all she encountered. With just the clothes on her back and a few small items in her tunic, she set out on her peaceful pilgrimage. Peace Pilgrim never asked anyone for any food unless it was offered and always refused money. She was completely alone and had no organizational backing. Her new name on the tunic made her new contacts. As people fell in love with this upbeat character with a jubilant gait and an animated voice.
I fear nothing and expect only good, so to me, only good comes. But then, of course, I'm always thinking about the best that could happen and all the good things that I want to see happen, because those are the things I want to emphasize.
At times, Peace would sleep in train stations, on roadsides, or in fields. Sometimes she would simply walk all night as she progressively became more enfolded in what she felt was a constant communication with God.
I seldom skip more than 3 or 4 meals in a row. I don't even think about food until food is offered. I once had a 45-day period of prayer and fasting. I know how long one can go without food. And even when I'm with total strangers, I have a bed about 3/4 of the time. When I don't, I might sleep in a bus station in a city or a truck stop out on the highway. But I have slept on the grass beside the road. I have walked all night to keep warm. If you're concerned enough about what you're doing, you don't mind any of these little so-called hardships. And I'm very concerned about peace.
In the book, Peace Pilgrim, her life and work in her own words, she recalled,
"When I ended my first cross-country walk, I felt so thankful that I had not failed to do what I had been called to do. I either said or thought to myself, isn't it wonderful that God can do something through me? Afterward, I slept at the Grand Central Station Railroad Terminal in New York City. When I came into the state between sleep and wakefulness, I had an impression that an indescribably beautiful voice was speaking words of encouragement. You are my beloved daughter, in whom I am well pleased. When I came into full wakefulness, it seemed as though a celestial orchestra had just finished playing in the station, with its echoes still lingering on."
Years later, when she finally reached the 25,000 miles, Peace Pilgrim visited the United Nations and the U.S. White House.
Our traveler was elated to drop off the tens of thousands of signatures asking for concord.
Peace was so thankful to fulfill her promise, but this was not the end. There was still so much to do and so many lives to touch. In the early 1960s, Peace Pilgrim had stopped counting the miles, but she continued her journey. She spent much of her time speaking in public, in churches, and schools on the subject of spiritual growth. What methods for inner development did she suggest? We will examine Peace's advice when we return after a brief message here on Supreme Master Television.
I'm just one small person doing what I can for peace. Imagine if each of us did just a little bit. Peace Pilgrim.
Welcome back to Peace Pilgrim, Walking Towards a Peaceful World, Part 2 of 3. Peace Pilgrim discussed inner growth through self-examination and reflection. Development of harmony to her was a transition from self-centered goals to becoming aware of our individual purpose within the whole of humanity. She believed that everyone has the same potential for greater good. We were all equal, no matter our place in society.
Now, there's lots of facets of peace, and it covers all of them. Peace among nations, peace among groups, peace with our environment, but also peace among individuals, and the very important inner peace, which is what I talk about the most.
When people align themselves with the spiritual and physical laws of the world, they become more in tune with the boundless energy of the universe. During interviews, she would describe how this energy never left her and allowed her to continue her mission. Peace Pilgrim also emphasized the importance of how our thinking affects those around us.
If you realized how powerful your thoughts are, you would never think a negative thought.
Along with our thinking, Peace Pilgrim told her audiences to be mindful of what they eat and the habit patterns they may find themselves in. A compassionate vegetarian herself, she discussed how eating animal flesh was harmful to spiritual growth and encouraged others to focus on eating wholesome foods. She also made a point to get enough sleep to replenish their bodies. Motive was also a primary focus for Peace Pilgrim. She met many people during her travels that worked solely for money and self-promotion. Peace encouraged these out-of-harmony individuals to find ways to be of service to others. While she never looked for the results of her actions, she received several letters over the years from contacts excited about the new direction their lives had taken. Peace Pilgrim described her own journey to inner peace as a series of highs and lows. In time, stabilizing to longer periods of harmony and blissful experiences. She explained to her audiences that we all have a similar path, which is actually reflected in the writings of several great thinkers such as Sigmund Freud, Mortimer J. Adler, Abraham Maslow,
and Carl Jung.
She would then draw out a graph to illustrate this passage.
Then, if you keep on going, you come to the point where you rise high enough in consciousness to look at the entire universe through the eyes of the higher nature, which I accent. That's a wonderful experience. It's called the peak experience by some of the scientists. Some of the religious people call it the illumination experience. It's a feeling of complete and absolute oneness with all creation.
What a beautiful message from such a marvelous soul. Please join us again on Sunday, July 28th for the concluding episode of Peace Pilgrim, Walking Towards a Peaceful World, where we remember Peace Pilgrim's final years. More miracles encountered and the lives she had so beautifully influenced and touched. For more information on Peace Pilgrim, please visit peacepilgrim.org. Noble viewers, it's been a pleasure to have you with us today. Coming up next is a gift of love, simple and nutritious cooking with Supreme Master Ching Hai, barbecue with vegetables and vegan sausage, right after noteworthy news here on Supreme Master Television. With heaven's grace, may you and your loved ones shine evermore in radiance and boundless joy.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/MOS.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/MOS.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule e suprememastertv.com/MOS.
Nossos programas oferecem vários idiomas. Acesse suprememastertv.com/schedule e suprememastertv.com/MOS.
हमारे कार्यक्रम पेश किए जाते हैं कई भाषाओं में। कृपया देखें suprememastertv.com/schedule और suprememastertv.com/MOS。
我们的节目提供多种语言，请看 suprememastertv.com/schedule 和 suprememastertv.com/MOS。
Rancangan kami menawarkan banyak bahasa. Sila kunjungi suprememastertv.com/kehadapan-schedule dan suprememastertv.com/kehadapan-MOS.
برامجنا متوفرة بالعديد من اللغات. يرجى زيارة suprememastertv.com/schedule و suprememastertv.com/MOS.
Наши программы предлагают много языков. Пожалуйста, посмотрите suprememastertv.com/schedule и suprememastertv.com/MOS.
Нашите предавания предлагат много езици. Моля вижте suprememastertv.com/schedule и suprememastertv.com/MOS.